everybody, this is Eternal Blade here, coming at you with another tutorial. Today is the start of a new series about how to model stairs. And in this first section, I'm going to teach you how to model the iron balusters. So there's a few main segments we're going to go over: how to create the twisted baskets, the twists in the actual balusters themselves, as well as how to create the covering feet and the connector pieces. So it'll be about 25 to 30 minutes long, so a nice short tutorial. It's very easy to do, so anyone can do it. The results are quite clean, not too much geometry in there, so you can have quite a few of them in your scene, and they look excellent. So without further ado, let's jump right into the tutorial. So to begin, let's first take a look at our reference images for the balusters. So here's some pictures I took of my stairs, and you can see we have a couple main elements. We have these baskets, we have the little pieces here on the bottom to hold it in. We've got these sort of twists here, and they're actually two sizes. One of them is long and one of them is shorter. And then we've got, the basic post itself, as well as these small elements here that go on the inside and outside of the basket. So we're just going to load this up into Max here and use this as a reference for what we want. So let's first go to the file info of our picture here, and we can see that is 388 by 4032. And let's go ahead and make a similar sized plane in our front viewport. So something like this. And for the, the length, that's going to be 4032. And the width is going to be 3888. And it doesn't really matter what your units are right now. Go ahead and bring the length and the width to 0. Press M on the keyboard to open up your material editor. You can use just a standard material or a Vera material. I'm going to go ahead and use a Vera material. Diffuse map, standard, bitmap, and go ahead and navigate to your reference image. I'll upload this and there'll be a link in the description for where to find it, so you guys can follow along as well. Alright, double click on it and press show shaded material in viewport. Go ahead and just drag it and drop it onto our plane here. And just go ahead and make sure it looks right, and it does. So we're good to go. So let's press G to get rid of the grid here, and we're going to zoom in on the front viewport, and I guess we'll start by making the basket. So to begin with, let's go ahead and create a box about the same size as one of these guys. So there's 1, 2, make it box-like, and then grow it. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to our box here and see what we've got. So that's good. So we're going to do 185, 185, and the length is going to need to be a lot longer. We'll give this 2000 to start off with here. Alright, so something like this ought to do. And I think maybe that's a bit too big. So let's go ahead and bring this down to 140 by 140. And even a bit more, 120 by 120. Alright, and go ahead and press F4 on the keyboard and press J to get rid of the bounding boxes. I'm not a fan of those. And add, your vertical segments here, so length segments, add about 40 or so. You want to have a pretty good geometry there. And go ahead and apply a bend modifier. And we're going to bring this over a little bit and then bend it just so, we need to get the angle right. So here we go. And bend it to where it sort of touches the middle there. Alright, so we want it almost aligned to where it would be when the actual thing is done. Something like that should do fine. And then what we're going to want to do is go ahead and apply a, we're going to shift drag it over and make it an instance. Go ahead and apply symmetry to it and align it to just where it's touching, like that. Now grab both these guys, press E and A for angle snap, and shift drag them 90 degrees and make sure they're instances as well. And go ahead and press W and drag these guys back a little bit. Okay, like this. Perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and just drag them out a little bit so we can see what's happening here. So now select all these guys and apply a twist modifier. And we're going to want to do an angle of 365 degrees. Is that too much? Let's try 180. Alright, 180 looks pretty good to me. Alright. And let's press R here and go into the front viewport. And I think we need to shrink it down just a bit. Alright. There we go. Something like this ought to do. Oops. Let me bring it over a little bit. Alright, press R on the top viewport and we're just going to bring it out just a bit there. Alright, so now we've kind of got, you know, a shape like this. Now, what we need to do here is apply an FFT 4x4 and the front viewport, grab the top, press W, and just drag it up like that, and grab the bottom and drag it down like that, just so we kind of have this nice little basket shape. Okay, go back into your perspective here, grab one of your things and apply a chamfer modifier to it. And then if you chamfer it, you're going to see all the lines are chamfering. So go ahead and bring your minimum angle up to something like 45. And that'll get you just the ones you want. And go ahead and make sure it's a quad chamfer, bring the tension to about 0.5. That'll give you a nice sort of rounded edge. And maybe we can bring it up just a little bit, maybe 0.75 there. And too much. We'll leave it at 0.5. Right? And since it doesn't seem to be wanting to copy that, go ahead and just drag the chamfer to the other pieces there. Alright, so that's the main basket. So let's just grab that and drag it to the side. Alright, and make sure you always want to save your scene. So we're just going to save it into our project folder here. Alright, so back in this viewport here, we're just going to go ahead and make this guy. So let's see what this looks like. Basically just a box. So I'm going to make a box. Something like that ought to do. Go ahead and change this to where it's even, so about 440 by 440. And then the length looks like it's pretty good to go. Press G to get rid of the grid if we don't need it. Alright, I'm just trying to align it, so it's probably a bit big, so we're just going to scale it down here. I'm just trying to match it on one of these sides. Okay, looks pretty good. Now, we want to convert this to an editable poly, so just apply it from your modifier stack. Select the top. Oops, make sure your length segments are 0. Alright, go to your polygon mode, select the top and the bottom. And we're going to want to just go into your perspective mode here. And with the bevel tool, we're just going to bevel this ever so slightly. So something like that. Come up a little bit. Come in a little bit. And then a little more. And go ahead and give it an inset. Just like that. That'll just clean up the geometry a bit. Alright, now we can apply a turbo smooth here, but it's not going to quite work. So what we can do is, let's see, we could chamfer all of these edges, which is what really needs to happen. So ring and loop, go ahead and chamfer these and give them a pretty large chamfer. And then apply our turbo smooth, and here we go. Now we've got a nice little bit of geometry. I think we need to add a few more edge loops though. So go ahead and grab these guys and this guy. Alright, loop it, chamfer, and give it a smaller chamfer. And this is a lot of polygons that we're using for these, but it'll look really good in the final product. So there we go. We've got our little piece right there. Let's see. Alright, so we can just go ahead and move that into position and align it in the top and the bottom. So something like that. Alright, and we can make it a little bit bigger if we think it needs to be just a shade larger. Alright, and one to the bottom. Perfect. There we go. Next, let's go ahead and work on our main twist here. So to do that, let's just go ahead and create a box. Something like that. So we're just going to do 180 by 180. And then your length, let's just make it about the length of one of these twists here. So we can just increase the length to about there. And it's fine, we're going to be scaling it according to these, so it won't really much matter. And for segments, you're going to want to give this about 50. It's going to be a pretty segmented thing here. And then apply your twist modifier. And this guy is going to be the long one, so between here. So we're going to go ahead and give it an angle of 540. And make sure it's along the right axis here. That'd be the Z-axis, and that is interesting looking. Not sure why our gizmo is messed up. It is really strange. Typically when you twist these things, they twist straight up and down. See if this is twisting at a strange angle. Alright, so let's go ahead and create our twist in the balusters here. So on the top viewport, just go ahead and create something like that. And we're going to bring it up over here. Let's go ahead and just make the height about where it should be. Something like that ought to do fine. And the length, maybe you'll make it 140 and 140 to give us a nice square. And maybe even a little bit bigger, 160, 160. Okay, now go ahead and apply your twist modifier. We're going to give it a twist of about 540, and so that'll give us about the right number of twists inside of our baluster, comparing it to this one. You can do a little more if you want, it doesn't really much matter, but for me that's going to do it. So let's go ahead and drag that guy over here. Now we also have some short ones, so let's go ahead and shift drag that, just make a copy of it. And in your box, go ahead and bring this down to something like 2000. Let's see. So we're just going to shorten it up, and in the twist dialog, we're just going to make this 360. This will just give it a bit of a shorter twist. And we also want to have our chamfer modifiers here, minimum angle 45, and just go ahead and increase this just to give it a bit of a rounded edge. Alright, and tension 0.5, and let's go ahead and just drag and drop that onto our other bit. Alright, and the last thing we need is the actual pole itself. So just go into the front view here, shift drag one of these guys and make a copy. Go ahead and delete the twist, and we can actually, well, that'll be perfect. We don't need anything more than that. Alright, so let's go ahead and make these guys, actually, before we forgot one little thing, this guy down here. So let's go ahead and make a box, so just like that. Alright, and then the height is going to have to be the same as the width, I believe. So let's do 450 and 450. Length is good. So go ahead and convert this to an editable poly. And actually, before we do that, get rid of all those height segments. Alright, and select the top polygon here. And let's just follow along here and do a little bit of bevel magic. So just kind of make it come in. And you can do this with a lathe modifier or something. There's a lot of ways you can get the same desired effect, but this just happens to be my favorite. Kind of lets me do a little bit of free-form modeling, if you will. Alright, looks good. And we're just going to do one on the bottom there. Alright, and just a basic inset. There we go. And go ahead and grab these edges here, loop them. Let's apply a chamfer. Okay, something like that ought to do. And you can apply your turbo smooth if you want as well at this point. So there we go. Now we've got our little piece here for the bottom. So now we can go ahead and apply these and begin to make our balusters. So we're just going to use this as a general guideline here. So let's just drag this guy here, and we can scale them down just so they about match. Alright, so something like that ought to do. Maybe a bit smaller, right about there. Okay. And let's get a pole. Oops. And just drag it in here. So we're going to scale this down quite a bit. And you don't need as much geometry on this pole. I have quite a bit, honestly. So we actually should probably go here and just delete those height segments. That way we don't have as many. Alright, something like that should do nicely. And you can go ahead and add an edit poly modifier here and adjust the height as needed, so kind of right up to about here. Alright, now let's grab our, let's see, these are going to be big ones, so we can just go ahead and grab these guys and scale them down. You can go ahead and effect pivot only and center these to the object. Alright, something like that. Now, they have these actually connected, so if we want to do that, we're going to need to do a little bit of extra work here. Alright, so what is that extra work going to be? Well, I think we're going to need to make this a bit bigger here. Let's go ahead and add a, let me just hide this for a second. So So we're going to add an editable poly modifier on here and grab that guy. We're just going to grow it 2 times, I think, and delete. We're going to grab this guy and select the top edge and grow it once, actually 2 times, and delete. And let's see if we can attach these guys together. So attach, alright, and then grab this edge and this edge, loop them, and let's try a bridge and see what happens. Alright, well that's not a total failure. I think we can grab this, press E and rotate that to where it's mostly intact. Something like that ought to do nicely. But for some reason the cuts are a little odd, so we can go ahead and fix that. So let's go into your edge here, into your cut section, and just cut from there. Let's see here. These are all messed up. Alright. I think we can just delete these guys. And we're going to do this. Let's grow that. Click these guys. Grow. Deselect and deselect. And bridge. Alright. And let's grab this and this. Grow. Deselect, deselect, and bridge. Alright, grab that and that, that, and that. Grow. Deselect the top. And let's go ahead and bridge these guys. It's not going to let us do 2 at once. Fine, we're going to do 1 at once. So we got that, and then we'll do this guy last. Oops, sorry, grow. And deselect, deselect, and bridge. There we go. Now if we turbo smooth it, we have a nice result where the twist is right in there and it looks wonderful. So let's go and unhide everything. Back to your front viewport here, and it looks like we need a bit more length. But first let's actually put this guy in. So W, just go ahead and scale that down considerably. Move it into position here. So it still needs to be scaled a bit more. Alright, that's pretty close right about there. Go to the top view and press R and maybe just shrink it just a bit. Alright, and let's grab our little bit here. And what we can do to make this a bit easier, I think, is if we go to our edit poly here, oops, just to this edit poly, and we take a look at what we've got. Let's just delete this turbo smooth for just a second here. So I want to say if we grow this, we just extrude this, it'll be a lot easier to do what we want. So we're just going to do that. Alright, so grab it and just bring it up into there. Alright, perfect. Grab it again. Shift drag the entire unit right to about here. And grab your bottom, bring it up to align it. Grab your top and just bring it up to about there. Alright, excellent. So go into your left-hand viewport here. And we're just going to align this with our other pieces. Alright, there we go. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. So grab this and hide unselected here. So I believe we're a little bit off here, so let's just bring this back. Alright, and there we have it. We've got one of our balusters fully completed. You can just copy and paste this guy and you're good to go. Now one of the things I noticed here, I'm actually going to do a 2x2 FFD on this, press 1 on the keyboard, I'm just going to bring these guys in a bit on the top, something like that, just because I think that's more what it should look like. They look... Alright, we just need to mirror this guy like that. There we go. Looks a little bit better. You can change it up to how you want it. So let's go ahead and quickly do the other ones. So they're going to be pretty easy now that we've got this one completed. Let's just grab all of one and press W, and we're going to shift drag over to here. Okay. And let's first see what we've got here. So this guy looks like it's just a standard piece. So let's go to our edit poly and delete all of the unnecessary twists here. And just grab your border and cap it off. Alright. And then just go ahead and bring these guys down. Grab that. Oops. Grab these guys and bring it up. Like so. And then let's copy another one to about here. Alright, we're going to grab a twist. Bring it over. Alright, something like that ought to do. And bring the twist down. Right in the middle. And press 1 and just adjust the top and the bottom. Excellent. And then I believe that is good for that. Wait, we've got a little extra here. Let's see, what is this? Is this a twist? Yes, it is. I don't think we need a twist. So let's go ahead and delete all that stuff. And we can just cap that off and bring it up in there. There we go. So now we've got two different types of balusters here, and I believe we need one more to finish it off. So unhide all. What did we do? I think we just deleted something. Oh, no, we didn't. Alright, so the last kind we need is these sort of double twist ones. So to make those, let's see. I'm going to grab one of these guys and shift drag it over and just move it up. Something like that ought to do nice. Grab this guy, drag it up, and we can just grab this guy, bring it down a bit, shift drag it down, get the spiral right, press 1 and bring that like that, and bring this guy just down over there. Grab your base and shift drag it to center it. Alright, now all we need to do is connect these and we're going to be good to go. So perspective here for a second, and let's just grab that, grow, delete, and let's go ahead and attach our other guy. Alright, so grab the polygons on the top, grow, delete. And I think if we just move these guys down, we're going to be pretty close to perfect. It looks like they have a bit of a twist to them, so we're just going to press E and maybe twist them just a bit. Alright, so let's loop that and loop that And if we bridge, what are the chances it'll work? Almost none. So let's just maybe deselect this one and try to bridge it. Ah, that works. And then grab this guy and do your final bridge. And let's maybe grab these couple. Press R and scale them down just a bit. They somehow got bigger at some point. Alright, so there we go. Let's go ahead and grab this, and we're just going to go to Object Properties, General, Freeze, and uncheck Show Frozen in Gray. And let's just start positioning these guys. Right, like that, and then let's grab these guys again. Shift drag them over. Alright, so that was pretty much it. Now you guys know how to make basically perfect perfect banisters, or balusters, sorry. So you guys can use these in pretty much any of your scenes. Just go ahead and copy and paste them, and this will be the first section in sort of how to make stairs. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe and comment if you want to see anything else. But with that being said, I hope you guys learned something, and as always, happy modeling. Alright, and with that being said, I will see you guys next time, and as always, happy modeling.